Welcome back to Car Talk with Matt and Alex. I said it right this time. Today we're going to be going over liquids. What goes in your car, that type of stuff. Matt and Alex!
Both of us.
Both of us. I'm not forgetting him. We're back.
Alright, so to stop destroying your ears now, we are here to talk about fluids this time. Like by fluids we mean windshield wiper fluid, oil in your engine, coolant, things like that. We're gonna just briefly talk about some of the importance, whatever, of what each of them are gonna be doing and why they're important.
Why you need them.
Yeah, why you need them. Then we're gonna get straight into the visual, hands-on stuff. We'll show you how to actually check your stuff on your own car. So I guess I'll start off with oil is definitely probably the most important fluid in your car. Definitely, I've got a lot of hair in here floating. And dust. A lot of dust in the air.
Damn it!
A lot of dust, but it's alright.
That's why you have an air filter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, oil, definitely one of the most
Most important thing, you need it to lubricate your engine so everything just runs really smoothly. You can also need it to lubricate other stuff like bearings. You need it for bearings. So that's really important.
So pretty much oil is going to be very important for your car because it's going to be the main means of lubrication for your engine. Anything that pretty much rubs against each other in your entire car, no matter where it is, it's going to be using some sort of oil. And if you didn't have oil in your car, which can lead to a bunch of problems, it can cause your engine to seize because as gears are going past each other, they're going to grind together and get locked up. So by maintaining your oil level and making sure that you have enough oil in your car is very important, so that when everything that touches each other, like gears, anything, cylinders, whatever you want to call it, are touching each other, that everything's going to be moving correctly. And if you let your oil level get too low, things are just not going to go well when they hit each other.
Yeah.
Also, in terms of oil changes, the reason you change your oil is because while all of these things are binding, any gears that are hitting each other that are lubricated by the oil, even though it's very small amounts, there's little trace amounts of metal that are actually being hit off each other and grinded off when these things are interacting. And lots of those metal things, like little metal pieces, can accumulate in your oil, and you don't want oil with little metal pieces circulating through your engine. So that's why it's important to change it.
So then going off to the next thing is kind of coolant. It's how you keep your engine temperature lower. Without it, it's not going to run well. It's just going to overheat, and that causes a lot of problems later down the line, like warping, which is bad. No one wants that.
No one wants any warping. And warping is not good. You don't want the warping. You don't want it to be curved.
But there are other things called what they cool with air, which you see those in Porsches and stuff like that. But that's not what we're here to really focus on. It's more just
coolant's more
cool. Yeah. So for coolant, it's a lot easier because all you have to do is just look to see how much you have. Because of course, as it has water and coolant, eventually over time it'll burn, it'll vaporize, and then vapor is not gonna help cool your engine at all.
Right.
So you just have to look, see where the level is at, and then refill it.
Right, got it. Yeah, it's pretty much the common theme here for all this stuff is just making sure you have enough of it. Is pretty much the theme. So it's not even, this stuff is really easy, even though it might sound complicated when you hear other people talk about it. It's actually really simple as long as you're just making sure you have enough of it. And the only really problem with it is if you lose, you can lose it. So you can, coolant, for example, we can talk about colors real quick, so how do you know if you're leaking certain things? Coolant's usually bright green, in general, so if you discover that your car is leaking something bright green, it's most likely coolant. And if it's light blue, it's usually windshield wiper fluid, which that's a good thing, because that means it's not something bad. Oil is obviously
it's
dark brown.
Dark brown or rainbow, or if the sun hits it, it's like a rainbow color. It's like a different.
So yeah, there's different tells you can see what you're leaking if your car is dripping something. But and then things like windshield wiper fluid, that's obviously not really mechanical. It doesn't help your car run better. That's just for to clear your windshield, obviously. So that's just more an experience thing. That's just nice to make sure your levels, and that's something you can constantly replace because you're using. Because you're using that pretty frequently.
It's okay. As he was saying, I think that later on we're going to be going a little game about which liquids Matt's car is leaking. It's going to be a really good one. I think that it's going to be definitely a great episode. Any problem? Any problem?
Yeah, I feel much more relaxed now. That's also a crucial thing, making sure your car's running, is you got to get a massage from your homie.
That's true?
Yeah, so So moving on from like coolant and oil, which are some of the main ones or whatever.
Yep.
Pretty much now we're just gonna hop in to show you actually on my engine bay, which is just like engine bay is just where your engine is. That's just the terminology for that. Quick little term for you. Engine bay makes sense.
Yeah, it's where it's. Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna cut it out now. I'm gonna pull
My super slow car.
real quick, and then
It's pretty boring. But
I'm just gonna show you where you check your oil, where you check your coolant, where you check certain fluids. All right. All right. So welcome to my engine bay. This is where I'm gonna be showing you how to check your different fluids or whatever, and how to fill them if you need to, or like how to add. So pretty much we're gonna start over here with your coolant, like Alex and I were talking about. This is one that is gonna be one of the ones that gets burned up over time, so you're gonna need to add here for sure. Next, we're gonna have your oil over here. So this actually is not where you're gonna check your oil. This is just where you're gonna add it. Which this right here is called a dipstick, and it'll have this little like teapot looking logo on there. That's how you're gonna know it's your dipstick. Pretty much what you do, you pull it out. It's gonna be a nice long metal stick. You're gonna wipe it off and then put it back in and check it again, and whatever it shows when you pull it back out, that's going to show you whether or not you have enough oil, because there'll be a little indicator on there. So if there is not enough oil and you need to add some, that's when you come over to the cap that actually has your engine oil logo, and that's where you're going to pour some fresh oil in. Over here we got your windshield wiper fluid. It's going to have obvious markings, which is nice and easy. Over here we got some brake fluid. That's not really something you're going to have to add very frequently, but definitely something to be mindful of if your brakes don't feel like they're working. And finally over here we got power steering. Again, that's not really something that you're going to need to add that frequently. But yeah, so that's where the different caps are. Like I said, it's nice and easy because they're going to be labeled like pretty easily and have little markings and so that are easy to follow. And definitely read your manual for your specific car as to which caps are meant to be checking caps to check how much fluid's in there versus caps that are meant to indicate like where you actually add the fluids. So with that, that's going to be it for this video. That's how you look to see where different fluids are and how to change / add the fluid.